Commander Hyun-woo stared at the massive alien warship through his bridge's viewing screen and tried to look amazed. The Vorthak vessel was 3 times the size of his own ship and covered with weapons that could destroy a small moon. He made sure his face showed the right amount of fear and wonder that any primitive human should feel when seeing such advanced technology. Send them a greeting signal, Hyun-woo told his communications officer. Use the old protocols. Make it sound like we're just simple explorers who are honored to meet such advanced beings. The young officer nodded and began sending the message. Hyun-woo knew the signal would make humans look like children who had just discovered fire. That was exactly what he wanted. The response came quickly. A deep voice spoke in the galactic, common language. Primitive human vessel, you will prepare for boarding. Do not resist or you will be destroyed. Of course, great ones, Hyun-woo replied, making his voice shake with nervousness. We welcome the chance to meet such mighty beings. Please, board our humble ship. As the alien shuttle approached, Hyun-woo's tactical officer whispered, Sir, our scanners are getting complete readings on their ship. Their weapons, shields, engines, everything. Good, Hyun-woo said quietly. Keep recording. Make sure we miss nothing. The Vorthak boarding party arrived with heavy footsteps and loud voices. Their leader was a huge creature with thick armor and multiple arms. Captain Krelmar looked around the human bridge with obvious disgust. His red eyes focused on the simple control panels and basic displays that Hyun-woo's crew used for show. Pathetic, Krelmar growled. Your technology is thousands of years behind ours. How do you even travel between stars with such primitive equipment? Hyun-woo bowed low. Great Captain, we are honored by your presence. Our people have only recently learned to build ships that can cross space. We know we have much to learn from advanced species like yours. This was all an act. The real control systems were hidden behind false panels. The actual bridge computers could calculate faster than anything the Vorthak had ever built. But Krelmar saw only what humans wanted him to see. You have entered Vorthak space without permission, the alien captain said. This is a crime that usually means death. We did not know, Hyun-woo said quickly. Our maps are not good. We were just exploring and looking for new friends among the stars. Please forgive our mistake. Krelmar studied the human commander for a long moment. Finally, he made a sound that might have been laughter. Friends? You think the mighty Vorthak Empire needs friends like you? You are nothing, insects. Barely worth the energy it would take to kill you. Yes, great one, Hyun-woo agreed. We know we are small and weak, but perhaps we could offer gifts to show our respect. This caught the alien's attention. Krelmar's eyes grew brighter. Gifts? What could primitives like you possibly have that would interest us? Hyun-woo gestured to his crew. They brought forward several boxes filled with items that looked valuable, but were actually worthless copies. Rare metals that were really painted rocks. Art objects made from common materials. Technology that appeared advanced but was deliberately broken. These are our greatest treasures, Hyun-woo said. Rare materials from our home world and examples of our finest crafts. We offer them freely to the mighty Vorthak Empire. Krelmar examined the fake gifts with growing satisfaction. He clearly believed he was getting valuable items from ignorant natives. What he did not know was that hidden scanners in each box were studying his equipment and sending data back to Earth. Your gifts are acceptable, the alien captain decided. I will not destroy your ship today, but remember this. Humans are nothing in this galaxy. You exist only because we allow it. Stay in your small corner of space, and do not bother your betters again. We understand completely, Hyun-woo said with another bow. We are grateful for your mercy and wisdom. The Vorthak boarding party left as loudly as they had arrived. As soon as their shuttle was gone, Hyun-woo's crew began working at their real stations. Hidden panels opened to reveal advanced computers and communication systems that would have shocked the aliens. Report, Hyun-woo ordered. Complete scan successful, sir, his tactical officer said. We have detailed information on their hull composition, shield frequencies, weapon systems, and engine design. The hidden recorders in the gifts are still transmitting data about their technology. Excellent. Send everything to Earth Command immediately. Use the quantum communication array. The communications officer worked at a control panel that looked nothing like the primitive equipment the aliens had seen. Message sent, sir. Earth Command confirms receipt and sends congratulations on another successful intelligence gathering mission. Hyunwoo allowed himself a small smile. For over 200 years, humans had been playing this same role across the galaxy. They appeared as weak, primitive explorers while secretly studying every alien technology they encountered. Ship after ship, species after species, humans had built a complete database of galactic military and scientific capabilities. The truth was that Earth had discovered alien technology centuries ago when they found a derelict ship from an ancient civilization. Instead of announcing this discovery, human leaders had made a careful decision. They would study in secret, build their strength quietly, and wait for the right moment to reveal themselves. While other species saw humans as backward primitives, Earth had become the most technologically advanced civilization in the galaxy. Human colonies throughout space were actually massive manufacturing centers and military bases disguised as simple research stations. Every human ship carried advanced weapons and shields hidden behind false bulkheads. 3 days later, Hyunwoo received an urgent message from Earth. He read it twice before calling his senior officers to a secure meeting room deep in the ship's real structure. Gentlemen, he said, we have intercepted communications from the Galactic Coalition. The Vorthak Empire, Nexari Confederation, and Ethereal Collective have met in secret council. The room grew quiet. Every officer knew that when these three powers worked together, entire civilizations could disappear. What is their decision, sir? Asked Commander Tae-young, the ship's real executive officer. Hyunwoo activated a holographic display showing the intercepted alien communications. They have decided that human space contains valuable resources. They plan what they call a relocation protocol for our entire species. Relocation? Asked the tactical officer. Genocide, Hyunwoo said, flatly. They plan to exterminate humanity and take our worlds. The decision was made casually, like swatting insects. They see us as nothing more than an inconvenience to be removed. The officers exchanged grim looks. They had all known this day might come. For centuries, humans had prepared for the possibility that their peaceful act would eventually fail. What are our orders, sir? Commander Tae-young asked. Hyunwoo stood and walked to the viewing screen. Outside, space looked peaceful and empty. Soon it would be filled with the greatest war the galaxy had ever seen. Director Soo-jin has activated Protocol 7, he said. The masquerade is over. We return to Earth immediately to prepare for what comes next. The communications officer spoke up. Sir, should we maintain our cover story during the journey home? No, Hyunwoo replied. Send coded messages to all human ships and colonies. Tell them the galaxy has crossed the line. It's time to show these aliens what humanity is really capable of. As the ship turned toward Earth, its real engines came online for the first time in years. The alien technology that humans had improved far beyond its original creator's dreams pushed the vessel through space at speeds that would have amazed the Vorthak captain. Behind them, automated beacons began broadcasting across human space. The message was simple but would change the galaxy forever. After 2 centuries of hiding their true nature, humanity was about to reveal why their ancestors had conquered an entire planet through determination and violence alone. The galaxy had made a terrible mistake in deciding to exterminate the human race. Soon, every alien species would learn what happened when you threatened Earth's children. Director Soo-jin stood before the massive viewing window in Earth's orbital command station and watched the last transport ships arrive from the outer colonies. Each vessel carried thousands of human civilians who had been living their entire lives as part of the Great Deception. Now they were coming home to prepare for war. Ma'am, called Captain Minho from his station. All civilian evacuations are complete. The colonies are switching to full military status. Soo-jin nodded without turning around. For 237 years, she and her predecessors had maintained the greatest lie in galactic history. Every human the aliens had met was an actor. Every human ship they had seen was a disguise. Every human colony they had observed was a carefully built facade hiding the truth. "Begin Phase 2, she ordered. "It's time to show Dr. Jamin's toys to the full council." The secure conference room filled quickly with Earth's military and scientific leaders. Most wore the simple clothes that humans used when aliens might be watching. Soon they would trade these costumes for the advanced uniforms of humanity's real defense forces. Dr. Jamin activated the room's holographic display system. The technology was so advanced that it created images indistinguishable from reality. Alien scientists would have called it impossible, but humans had been using it for decades. "Council members," Dr. Jamin began, "you all know the public story of how we discovered alien technology. What most of you don't know is the complete truth about what we found." The hologram showed a massive derelict ship floating in the darkness between stars. It was clearly alien, but unlike anything the current galactic powers used. The design was elegant and deadly, built by beings who understood both science and war. "This vessel belonged to the architects," Dr. Jamin explained. "A species that ruled the galaxy millions of years ago before vanishing for reasons we still don't understand. When our exploration ship found this wreck in 2087, it changed everything." General Bo Young leaned forward. "Show them the weapons data." The hologram shifted to display technical specifications that made several council members gasp. Energy weapons that could destroy planets, shields that could absorb the power of stars, manufacturing systems that could build entire fleets in months rather than decades. "The architect's technology is beyond anything the current galaxy has ever seen," Dr. Jamin continued. "But here's what makes it truly special. It was designed to learn and improve. The systems study whoever uses them and adapt to their needs and capabilities." "Which means?" asked Admiral Chanwu. "It means that when humans began studying architect technology, the systems began studying us in return. They learned how we think, how we fight, how we solve problems. Over 2 centuries, the technology has evolved specifically for human use. It's not just alien science anymore, it's become something new." Sujin stepped forward. "Show them the manufacturing reports." The hologram displayed Earth's moon, but not as the galactic powers had ever seen it. The surface was covered with massive industrial complexes hidden beneath false rock formations. Ships larger than anything in the known galaxy were being assembled in underground facilities that stretched for hundreds of miles. "The Luna shipyards," Captain Minho announced with pride. "We've been building our true fleet here for over a century. Every ship uses architect technology adapted for human crews and improved by human engineering." The display shifted to show sleek vessels that looked nothing like the primitive ships aliens had seen humans use. These were weapons of war designed by a species that understood conflict better than any other in the galaxy. Each ship carried enough firepower to destroy entire enemy fleets. "How many ships?" asked General Seokjin. "Currently operational. 47,000 combat vessels of various classes," Captain Minho replied. "Under construction, 18,000 more, all equipped with adaptive shields, quantum weapons, and stealth systems that make them invisible to any known sensors." Several council members sat back in shock. The numbers were staggering. Earth had built a fleet larger than the combined forces of the 3 major galactic powers. "What about ground forces?" General Bo Young wanted to know. Colonel Yu Jin activated her section of the display. "Every human colony the aliens think they've observed is actually a military base. Mars houses our primary army training facilities. Europa contains our special forces academies. Titan is our main weapons development center." The hologram showed installations that looked like small research outposts from the outside but were actually massive underground fortresses. Each could house millions of soldiers and produce enough weapons to arm entire planets. "Our ground forces number in the hundreds of millions," Colonel Eugene continued. "Every human civilian has received basic military training. Every colony has hidden weapons depots and defensive systems. If the aliens try to invade our worlds, they'll discover that every human settlement is a fortress." Director Sujin moved to the center of the room. "The question now is not whether we can defend ourselves. The question is how we respond to the Coalition's decision to commit genocide against our species." "Ma'am," said Agent Ye Jin, stepping out of the shadows where she had been standing silently. "My intelligence network is ready to move. We have operatives embedded in every major alien government and military organization. They've been gathering information and preparing sabotage operations for decades." The hologram showed a galaxy-wide map marked with thousands of red dots. Each dot represented a human agent living among alien populations, trusted by their targets, perfectly positioned to strike when the moment came. "Some of our people have been undercover for their entire lives," Agent Yejin explained. "Their children and grandchildren don't even know they're human. They've become part of alien society while secretly working for Earth." Admiral Chan Wu studied the intelligence network with admiration. "How long have we been planning this level of infiltration?" "Since the first day we found the architect ship," Sujin replied. "We knew that eventually, the galaxy would see us as a threat. We've had over 2 centuries to prepare." Dr. Jae-min reactivated the technical displays. "There's one more thing you need to understand about our capabilities. The architect technology doesn't just copy alien science, it improves on it. Every piece of equipment the aliens have shown us, every weapon system we've observed, we've built better versions." The hologram demonstrated this by comparing Vorthak weapons with their human-improved equivalents. The alien energy cannons were powerful, but human versions could penetrate any known shield. Nexari computers were fast, but human systems could outcalculate them by factors of thousands. "We're not just technologically superior," Dr. Jae-min said. "We're beyond anything the galaxy has ever seen. The architect's technology has evolved in human hands to become something entirely new." "What about the ethereal collective's psychic abilities?" asked Colonel Taeho. Dr. Yoon-ji, Earth's chief researcher on psychic phenomena, smiled grimly. "That's been my specialty for the past 50 years. It turns out that human minds have natural resistance to psychic manipulation. More importantly, some humans can develop psychic abilities of their own." She gestured, and several objects around the room began floating in the air without any visible support. "I've been training a select group of human psionics in secret. When the ethereals try to use their mental powers against us, they'll find that we can fight back." General Bo Young stood up. "So we have superior technology, larger numbers, better intelligence, and countermeasures for every alien advantage. What's our strategy?" Sujin looked around the room at Earth's greatest military minds. These were the people who would decide the fate of the galaxy. Their ancestors had conquered a planet through determination and intelligence. Now they would do the same to the stars. "The coalition thinks they're dealing with primitive humans who will panic and run when faced with their superior forces," she said. "They're planning a simple extermination campaign. They expect no real resistance." "Instead?" prompted Admiral Chan Wu. "Instead, they're going to discover what happens when you threaten the existence of a species that spent 2 centuries. Preparing for this exact moment, Sujin activated the room's main display, showing a tactical overview of Coalition space. "We're going to show the galaxy why humans are the most dangerous species they've ever encountered." The room filled with grim determination. Every person present understood that they were about to start a war that would reshape the galaxy. The aliens had made the mistake of believing that peaceful meant powerless. "Begin full mobilization," Sujin ordered. "Recall all agents to active status. Bring the fleet to combat readiness. Prepare all colonies for military operations." She paused and looked out at the stars through the viewing window. Somewhere out there, alien fleets were preparing to destroy humanity. They had no idea what was waiting for them. "Ladies and gentlemen," she said quietly, "the galaxy has crossed the line. Now they'll learn what humanity is really capable of." Admiral Taisaran of the Nexari Confederation stood on the bridge of his flagship and watched 10,000 warships emerge from hyperspace around Earth's solar system. The largest military fleet in galactic history had come to exterminate humanity, and he expected the operation to be finished within hours. "Scanning the system now," reported his tactical officer. "Sir, this is strange. We're detecting no active ships or defensive installations." Thaisran studied the sensor displays with growing confusion. Earth appeared completely defenseless. Its orbital stations were dark and empty. The planet's surface showed no signs of military activity. Even the primitive human colonies on other worlds seemed abandoned. "They must have detected our approach and fled," decided Admiral Krelmar of the Vorthak Empire, speaking from his own massive warship. "Cowards, running away instead of facing their betters." "Good," added collective leader Zephmore of the Ethereal Forces. "Their fear makes this easier. We can cleanse their worlds without resistance." The three alien commanders had worked together to plan humanity's extinction. They would divide human space between their empires and strip the planets of valuable resources. It was supposed to be simple and profitable. "Begin the cleansing operation," Thyceran ordered. "All ships advance to attack positions. Target every human settlement and orbital facility." The massive alien fleet spread throughout the solar system like a plague. Vorthak battleships moved toward Earth's moon. Nexari cruisers approached the Bio outer planets. Ethereal destroyers swept the asteroid belt for hidden human bases. "Sir," called the tactical officer, "we're still not detecting any human ships or defenses. Are you certain they haven't completely evacuated?" Before Thyceran could answer, space around his fleet exploded into violence. Ships appeared everywhere. Not dozens or hundreds, but thousands upon thousands of vessels that had been completely invisible moments before. Each one was sleek, deadly, and unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. They moved with impossible speed and precision, attacking from all directions at once. "Impossible," breathed Admiral Krelmar, as his sensors finally registered the human fleet. "Where did they come from?" Our scans showed nothing. Admiral Bo Young watched the alien confusion from the bridge of her flagship, the Earth's Hammer. Around her, displays showed the positions of 47,000 human warships as they dropped their cloaking fields and prepared for battle. "All ships," she broadcast on the command frequency. "This is Admiral Bo Young. Today we show the galaxy what happens when they threaten Earth's children. Attack." The human fleet struck like a force of nature. Ships that had been designed using technology millions of years more advanced than anything the Coalition possessed, tore through alien formations like knives through paper. Captain Seok Jin piloted his experimental fighter, the Teguk, directly into the heart of a Vorthak battle group. His ship's quantum weapons turned the massive alien dreadnoughts into expanding clouds of superheated gas. The Vorthak warriors, bred for combat across thousands of years, found themselves helpless against human technology and tactics. "This is impossible," Seok-Jin heard over the alien communication channels. "Their weapons are cutting through our shields like they don't exist. How are primitive humans doing this?" The answer was simple, but terrifying. Human weapons had been built using architect technology and improved by 2 centuries of human innovation. They could adapt to any defense and overcome any armor. The aliens were fighting with ancient designs against weapons that evolved during combat. "Admiral Thyceran to all Coalition forces," came a panicked voice across the fleet communication system. "We are under attack by unknown forces. Repeat, we are under heavy attack." "Unknown forces?" Admiral Bo Young laughed grimly. "Tell them who we are." Commander Hyunwoo opened a channel to all alien ships. "Coalition forces, this is the Earth Defense Fleet. You came here to commit genocide against the human race. Instead, you've discovered what humanity is truly capable of." The battle raged across the entire solar system. Near Earth's moon, Captain Minho led his squadron of heavy cruisers against a formation of Nexari battleships. The alien vessels were impressive by galactic standards, but human ships moved like living things, dodging enemy fire while delivering devastating attacks of their own. "Target their command ship," Minho ordered. "Let's show them what human engineering can do." The Nexari flagship erupted in flames as human quantum torpedoes overwhelmed its defenses. Throughout the Coalition fleet, similar scenes played out, as alien commanders discovered that their superior numbers meant nothing against superior technology. "All ships retreat," Admiral Thyceran finally ordered, as he watched his forces being systematically destroyed. "Fall back to hyperspace immediately." But the human fleet had anticipated this. Ships appeared along every escape route blocking the alien retreat. Advanced human computers had calculated every possible path the Coalition might take, and positioned forces to intercept them. "No retreat," Admiral Bo Young announced over the open channels. "You came here to exterminate our species. Now you'll face the consequences." Colonel Yu Jin led her assault forces against the few alien ships that had managed to land on human colonies. The coalition soldiers expected to find defenseless civilians. Instead, they discovered that every human settlement was actually a military fortress filled with soldiers who had been training for this moment their entire lives. "Ma'am," reported one of her squad leaders, "the aliens seem confused about our capabilities. They keep trying tactics that worked against other species." "That's their mistake," Yujin replied, as she watched human forces systematically capture alien ground troops. "They never bothered to learn what humans are really like in combat." The truth was that humans had studied every battle the coalition forces had ever fought. They knew alien tactics, strategies, and weaknesses better than the aliens knew themselves. 2 centuries of intelligence gathering had given humanity an insurmountable advantage. Dr. Yunji faced off against a group of ethereal psionics who had tried to use their mental powers to control human defenders. The aliens discovered, to their horror, that human minds were naturally resistant to psychic manipulation. "Impossible," one of the ethereals projected telepathically. "No species can resist our mental domination." "You've never faced humans before," Dr. Yunji replied, using her own psychic abilities to turn the aliens' powers against him. "We don't just resist your abilities. Some of us can use them better than you can." Throughout the solar system, the Coalition's mighty fleet was being methodically destroyed. Ships that had taken decades to build were reduced to scrap metal in minutes. Crews that had conquered countless worlds found themselves outmatched by beings they had dismissed as primitives. "Sir," Thesaran's tactical officer reported with barely controlled panic, "we've lost over 60% of our forces. The human ships are destroying everything we have." "How is this possible?" the Nexari admiral demanded. "They're supposed to be a primitive species. Our intelligence report said they barely had spaceflight capability." Admiral Bo Young's voice cut across all communication channels. "Your intelligence was wrong. For over 2 centuries, we've let you see only what we wanted you to see. Every human ship you encountered was a disguise. Every human colony you observed was an act. Every human you met was playing a role." The alien commanders finally began to understand the scope of their mistake. Humanity had deceived the entire galaxy for centuries, building strength while appearing weak, preparing for war while seeming peaceful. "You wanted to see what humanity was capable of," continued Bo Young's broadcast. "This is just the beginning. As the last coalition ships were destroyed or captured, Earth's hidden orbital platforms revealed themselves. Weapons emplacements that could crack planets emerged from stealth fields. Manufacturing centers that dwarfed anything the galaxy had ever seen began producing more ships and weapons. Director Su Jin appeared on every surviving alien communication system. Her message was broadcast across the galaxy, reaching every species that had ignored or dismissed humanity. "To all civilizations who received this message," she said calmly, "you have just witnessed the destruction of the largest military fleet in galactic history. They came to our system to commit genocide against the human race. They have failed." She paused, letting the implications sink in across dozens of worlds and hundreds of species. "For centuries, we have lived peacefully among you. We have traded fairly, explored quietly, and caused no harm to any species. But when you decided that our people should die, you crossed a line that should never have been crossed." The camera pulled back to show the wreckage of the coalition fleet floating around Earth like a graveyard of alien ambitions. "We are humanity. We do not start wars, but we finish them. The galaxy is about to learn why our ancestors conquered an entire world through determination alone. Any species that threatens Earth or commits genocide against innocent civilizations will face the same fate as the coalition fleet." As the broadcast ended, human ships began emerging from hidden bases throughout the galaxy. The masquerade was over. After 2 centuries of hiding their true nature, humanity was ready to show the universe what they were really capable of. The galaxy had crossed the line, and now they would learn why that was the biggest mistake in their history. News of the Coalition's complete defeat at Seoul spread across the galaxy faster than light itself. On thousands of worlds, species that had never heard the name human now whispered it in fear. The primitive race that everyone had ignored had just destroyed the three most powerful military forces in known space. Fleet Admiral Dong Hyun stood in the command center of humanity's largest warship and watched as intelligence reports flooded in from across the galaxy. Panic was spreading through Coalition space as their governments realized what they were truly facing. "Sir," reported Commander Tae Young, "our deep cover agents are confirming massive military mobilization on all Coalition worlds. They're trying to rebuild their fleets and organize planetary defenses." Dong-hyun studied the tactical displays showing enemy positions throughout the galaxy. After 2 centuries of careful intelligence gathering, humans knew the location of every important Coalition military base, manufacturing center, and government facility. "They still don't understand," he said quietly. "They think this is a conventional war where they can rebuild and try again." "Should we show them otherwise, sir?" asked Captain Ye-jin. "Yes. Begin Phase 3 of the operation. Hit them everywhere at once." Across human space, thousands of ships received their orders simultaneously. The counteroffensive that would reshape the galaxy was about to begin. Colonel Yu Jin led the assault on Kethmore, the primary fortress world of the Vorthak Empire. The planet was supposed to be impregnable, protected by orbital defense platforms, and millions of ground troops. The Vorthak had spent centuries turning their homeworld into the ultimate military stronghold. "All units, prepare for planetary assault," Yu Jin ordered as her fleet approached the heavily defended world. "Remember, we're not just fighting for victory. We're showing the galaxy what happens when you threaten humanity." The Vorthak defenders detected the approaching human ships and prepared for a siege. They expected the humans to attack their orbital defenses first, following standard military doctrine. Instead, Yu Jin's forces did something the aliens had never seen before. Human ships simply appeared inside the planet's defensive perimeter, having used advanced stealth technology to bypass all sensors and weapons. The Vorthak orbital platforms found themselves under attack from behind before they could even react. "Impossible," broadcast the Vorthak defense commander. "No ships can penetrate our detection grid. How did you get through our defenses?" Yu Jin opened a communication channel. "We've been studying your defenses for over a century. We know every weakness, every blind spot, every way to defeat your systems. You never bothered to learn anything about us." The orbital battle was over in minutes. Human weapons designed using technology millions of years ahead of anything the galaxy possessed cut through Vorthak defenses like they were made of paper. Within an hour, the planet's entire space-based military had been reduced to floating debris. But the real shock came when human forces landed on the planet's surface. The Vorthak expected to face primitive soldiers with basic weapons. Instead, they encountered troops equipped with personal shields, quantum firearms, and armor that could withstand anything in the alien arsenal. "Sir," reported one of Yu Jin's squad leaders, "the enemy forces are retreating from every position. They seem unable to comprehend our combat capabilities." The truth was that human military technology had evolved far beyond anything the galaxy understood. Every soldier carried equipment that would have seemed like magic to other species. Their weapons could adapt to any target, their armor could repair itself, and their tactics were coordinated by artificial intelligence that calculated thousands of possible outcomes every second. Meanwhile, on the other side of the galaxy, engineer Taeho was demonstrating humanity's technological superiority in a different way. He had captured a Nexari research vessel and was systematically analyzing their most advanced computers and scientific instruments. "Fascinating," Taeho said, as he studied the alien technology. "They're still using quantum processing arrays that we considered obsolete 50 years ago." The captured Nexari scientists watched in horror as a human engineer casually dismantled systems that represented centuries of their civilization's greatest achievements. What they didn't understand was that human technology didn't just copy alien designs, it improved on them automatically. "Your computers are impressive by galactic standards," Taeho explained to the alien scientists. but our systems can process information at rates your minds couldn't even comprehend. We've been using quantum biological hybrid processors for decades. To prove his point, Tejo connected a small human device to the Nexari ship's main computer. Within minutes, the human system had completely analyzed, understood, and improved every program in the alien database. Your mistake, Tejo continued, was assuming that primitive meant stupid. While you were fighting wars with each other, we were learning, studying, and building. Every piece of technology you've developed, we've created better versions. The Nexari chief scientist, a being called Zeph Har, who had spent his entire life believing his species was technologically supreme, stared at the human improvements to his life's work. In minutes, this primitive human had advanced Nexari computer science by centuries. Dr. Yunji was having a different kind of success against the ethereal collective. The psychic species had always dominated other races through their mental abilities, but they had never encountered minds like humanity's. Your psychic powers are impressive, Dr. Yunji told the captured ethereal commanders, as she easily resisted their attempts at mental control. But human consciousness is different from other species. We don't just think, we adapt. She demonstrated by turning one ethereal's psychic abilities against another. The aliens watched in shock as their most powerful mental warriors were defeated by a human who had learned to use their own powers better than they could. Impossible, projected one of the ethereals. No species can resist our mental domination, much less use our abilities against us. You've spent so long controlling weaker minds that you never learned what to do when you face a stronger one, Dr. Yunji replied. Human willpower has conquered entire worlds. Your psychic abilities are just another tool for us to master. Back at Earth, Director Sujin was coordinating the galaxy-wide offensive from humanity's true command center. The primitive, orbital station the aliens had seen was gone, replaced by a massive facility that could process information from millions of sources simultaneously. Ma'am, reported Agent Yejin. Our operatives throughout Coalition space have activated. Every major military installation, government facility, and communication center is under attack by forces the aliens trusted completely. The intelligence network that humanity had built over centuries was finally revealing its true purpose. Human agents who had lived their entire lives as trusted members of alien societies were now coordinating devastating sabotage operations across dozens of worlds. Excellent, Sujin replied. How are the coalition governments responding? Panic, mostly. They're discovering that humans have been embedded in their organizations at every level. Leaders they've trusted for decades are revealing themselves as Earth agents. The scope of human infiltration was beyond anything the galaxy had imagined. In some cases, entire alien government departments were run by humans who had been working for Earth while appearing completely loyal to their adopted species. Captain Minho was leading the assault on the Coalition's main shipbuilding facilities. These massive orbital platforms could construct entire fleets, and their destruction would cripple the aliens' ability to rebuild their forces. Sir, reported his tactical officer, the shipyards are more heavily defended than expected. They have over 1,000 automated defense platforms. No problem, Minho replied calmly. Activate the adaptive weapon systems. Human ships opened fire with weapons that learned from each shot. The first few blasts were absorbed by alien shields, but the quantum firearms immediately analyzed the defensive frequencies and adjusted their output accordingly. Within minutes, weapons that had been useless were cutting through Coalition defenses like they didn't exist. This is incredible, whispered one of Minho's crew members. Our weapons are actually getting stronger during the battle. That's architect technology combined with human innovation, Minho explained. Our weapons don't just fire at targets. They learn how to defeat them. The Coalition shipyards, which had taken decades to build, were destroyed in less than an hour. With them went the aliens' ability to replace their lost fleets. Admiral Chan Wu was coordinating attacks on Coalition communication networks. By cutting off their ability to coordinate defenses, humanity could ensure that each alien world faced the human assault alone. Sir, we've successfully infiltrated the primary communication satellites for all 3 Coalition powers, reported his communications officer. We can intercept, block, or modify any message they try to send. Do it, Chanwu ordered. Make sure no coalition world can warn the others about our true capabilities. As human forces struck across the galaxy, the coalition leadership finally began to understand the scope of their mistake. They had attempted genocide against a species that had spent centuries preparing for exactly this scenario. The mighty Vorthak Empire, which had conquered hundreds of worlds through military strength, found their armies defeated B6 months after the first battle at Sol. Supreme Commander Chan Wu stood in the Great Hall of the former Vorthak Imperial Palace and looked out at representatives from dozens of alien species. The mighty coalition that had once ruled the galaxy now knelt before humanity, waiting to learn their fate. The transformation had been complete and swift. Every major coalition military installation lay in ruins. Their governments had collapsed, under the weight of human infiltration and sabotage. Entire star systems that had once threatened to exterminate humanity now begged for protection from the very species they had tried to destroy. Honorable representatives, Chan Wu began, speaking in the galactic common language. You are here because your governments made a decision 6 months ago. They chose to commit genocide against the human race. The alien delegates shifted nervously in their seats. Many still couldn't comprehend how their seemingly inferior species had defeated the greatest military powers in galactic history. That decision, Chan Wu continued, has led to consequences that will reshape this galaxy forever. Director Su Jin entered the hall, accompanied by an honor guard of human soldiers whose advanced equipment made even the former coalition's elite forces look primitive. She had come to present the terms that would determine the future of galactic civilization. For centuries, Su Jin said, addressing the assembled aliens, humanity lived peacefully among you. We traded fairly, explored quietly, and harmed no one. We asked only to be left alone to develop our own civilization. She activated a holographic display that showed the intercepted coalition communications from months earlier. The casual discussion of human extermination played for all to hear. Instead, you decided that our species was inconvenient. You planned our complete elimination so you could strip our worlds of resources. The decision was made as easily as one might swat an insect. The alien delegates listened in silence as their own leaders' voices condemned them. There was no denying what they had planned. Now you know the truth about humanity, Su Jin continued. We are not the primitive species you believed us to be. For over 2 centuries, we have been studying your civilizations, learning your weaknesses, and preparing for the day when you would reveal your true nature. Governor Haiyan Su stepped forward to present the first set of terms. He had been chosen to oversee the integration of former coalition worlds into humanity's new galactic order. The Vorthak Empire, Nexari Confederation, and Ethereal Collective no longer exist as independent powers, he announced. Their military forces have been destroyed or captured. Their governments have been dissolved. Their territories are now under human protection. A Vorthak representative, one of the few surviving military commanders, dared to speak. What will happen to our people? That depends entirely on your cooperation, Su Jin replied. Humanity has no desire to rule the galaxy through fear or oppression. We want only to ensure that what happened to us never happens to any other species. She gestured, and the holographic display showed human colonies being established throughout former coalition space. But these were not conquering armies. They were protection forces and reconstruction teams. Every species that accepts human oversight will be allowed to govern themselves, Su Jin explained. You will rebuild your worlds, develop your cultures, and live in peace. But you will never again have the power to commit genocide against innocent civilizations. Admiral Jin Ho presented the military terms. All species under human protection will maintain only defensive forces. Offensive weapons, invasion fleets, and weapons of mass destruction are forbidden. Any violation of these terms will result in immediate human intervention. The former coalition species had no choice but to accept. Their own weapons were useless against human technology, and their military forces had been so thoroughly defeated that resistance was impossible. What about species that refuse these terms? Asked a Nexari representative. Captain Minho answered from his position near the display controls. Those species will discover why it was a mistake to threaten humanity in the first place. The hologram showed several worlds whose governments had attempted to resist human authority. These planets were now empty of intelligent life, their populations relocated to worlds where they could cause no harm. Humanity had proven they could be both protector and destroyer, depending on the choices other species made. Dr. Jamin stepped forward to discuss the technological implications of the new order. Humanity will share certain technologies with species that demonstrate peaceful intentions. Medical advances, agricultural improvements, and scientific knowledge will be freely given to those who embrace cooperation over conquest. However, he continued, military technology, weapons systems, and space travel capabilities will remain under human control. No species will again have the power to threaten others with extinction. The alien representatives began to understand the full scope of what humanity was offering. It was not conquest in the traditional sense, it was transformation of the entire galactic power structure. Colonel Yu Jin presented the enforcement mechanisms. Human bases will be established in every star system. These installations will monitor local activities, provide protection against threats, and ensure compliance with the new galactic laws. But understand, she added, these are not occupation forces, they are guardians. Humanity learned long ago that true strength comes from protecting the weak, not exploiting them. Agent Ye Jin revealed the extent of human intelligence capabilities. Our operatives will remain embedded in all major organizations and governments. This network exists not to spy on innocent activities, but to detect and prevent any attempts to develop weapons of mass destruction or plan aggressive wars. The Mao aliens finally grasped that humanity's infiltration of their societies had been more complete than they had ever imagined. There would be no hiding from human oversight. Dr. Yunji addressed the ethereal representatives specifically. Your psychic abilities will be monitored and regulated. Any attempt to use mental powers for domination or control will be met with immediate response from human psionics who are stronger than your most powerful individuals. As the formal presentations ended, the alien delegates were given time to discuss the terms among themselves. The choice they faced was simple: accept human protection and guidance or face the same fate as those who had chosen resistance. Director Su Jin used the break to address her human colleagues. Are we making the right choice? She asked quietly. We have the power to rule the galaxy through force. Instead, we're choosing to be protectors. Supreme Commander Chan Wu looked out at the alien representatives who were debating humanity's terms. Ma'am, our strength comes from our values, not just our weapons. If we become conquerors, we become no better than the coalition we defeated. Besides, added Admiral Jin Ho with a slight smile, ruling through fear is exhausting. Ruling through respect and protection is much more sustainable. When the negotiations resumed, species after species accepted humanity's terms. They had seen what happened to those who chose resistance, and they understood that cooperation was their only path to survival. The Treaty of Terra was signed by representatives of over 300 species. It established humanity as the galaxy's ultimate authority, while guaranteeing the rights and freedoms of all peaceful civilizations. This treaty, Su Jin announced as the documents were completed, marks the beginning of a new age in galactic history, an age where the strong protect the weak instead of exploiting them. As the ceremony concluded, Admiral Jin Ho stood on the observation deck of humanity's newest command station. Around him, former coalition worlds were already showing signs of recovery under human guidance. Species that had once lived in fear of their neighbors were beginning to explore peaceful cooperation. He activated the galaxy-wide communication system to broadcast humanity's final message to every inhabited world. Citizens of the galaxy, he began. 6 months ago, your leaders made a decision that changed everything. They chose to commit genocide against humanity. That choice revealed the true nature of the galactic power structure. The strong dominated. The weak and peaceful species lived in constant fear. The camera pulled back to show the vast human fleet that now protected dozens of star systems. Today marks the end of that era. Humanity has taken responsibility for galactic peace and security. We do not seek to rule you, but we will protect you. We do not desire conquest, but we will prevent aggression. He paused, letting the message reach every corner of known space. The galaxy made a fatal mistake when it decided humanity should die. You learned that peaceful does not mean powerless, that quiet does not mean weak, and that patience does not mean submission. The broadcast showed human colonies throughout the galaxy, each one a beacon of protection for the species around them. We are humanity. We do not start wars, but we finish them. We do not seek dominion over others, but we will protect the innocent. The age of galactic bullies is over. The age of universal protection has begun. As the message ended, children, on thousands of worlds, looked up at stars that were no longer filled with threats. The galaxy had crossed the line when it threatened humanity's existence, and in D,